The grand palace of Aurelia Prime floated high in the purple sky, glowing like a golden sun. Every wall shimmered with floating crystals. Every step echoed with power. And today, the palace was filled with thousands of alien nobles, tall, bright-skinned beings who believed they were the most perfect creatures in the galaxy. But all their eyes were locked on one thing. A human. A single human walking into their sacred court. His name was Evan Carter, the ambassador from Earth. He walked slowly, trying to look brave, but his heart was beating too fast. The nobles whispered harshly as he passed. "Why bring a human here? A weak creature, look at his small body. He will insult the Empress." "I know it." Evan kept his head up. He didn't want the aliens to see he was nervous. Behind him walked two Aurelian guards, holding long energy spears. They looked like statues made of gold. At the end of the long hall, sitting on a throne floating 3 meters above the floor, was Empress Zyra. She was tall, elegant, and terrifying. Her hair waved like burning silver. Her golden eyes glowed with a sharp light. Her presence alone made the air feel heavier, as if gravity respected her more than anyone else. Evan stopped walking. His hands were shaky as he held a small peace token, a silver box with Earth's symbol. This was supposed to be a peaceful ceremony. A friendly meeting. A chance for humanity to form an alliance with one of the strongest empires in the galaxy. But as Evan stepped forward, he noticed something. Every alien seemed to want him to fail. The tension builds. The Empress raised her hand. The room became silent instantly. "Human," she said. Her voice was smooth but powerful. "Step forward." Evan nodded and took one careful step. Another. He felt thousands of eyes stabbing into him. He reached the center of the hall and lifted the silver box. "We bring this gift from..." Suddenly, a strong Aurelian guard behind him shoved him hard. Evan lost his balance. He fell forward. The silver box flew out of his hand. He reached out, desperate to stop himself from hitting the floor. His hand landed on something. Soft. Warm. Smooth. Silence swallowed the entire room. Evan froze. Slowly, painfully slowly, he turned his head. And realized. His hand was resting on the Empress's backside. Her royal backside. The sacred backside. The never-to-be-touched backside. 5,000 nobles gasped so loudly that the air rippled. The guards drew their weapons instantly. The gold blades glowed bright and deadly. Evan jumped away, eyes wide with horror. I didn't mean, it was an accident, I lost balance, please listen." No one listened. Every guard shouted at once. "Execution." He touched the Empress. "Kill the human." The Empress stood up. Her long silver hair floated around her like a storm. Her eyes blazed with fire. The entire palace shook. She looked down at Evan with a rage that could destroy planets. Her voice cracked like thunder. "Human. You dared touch the Empress. My backside is not for mortals." Evan fell to his knees. His throat felt dry. His breath was shaking. "Please, it was an accident." Silence. The single word made him stop breathing. The court's fury. The nobles shouted. "Punish him. Cut off his hands. No mercy. He insulted the Empress." Evan wanted to shout back. "I didn't do anything." But he knew it wouldn't matter. He saw something strange. The guard who pushed him earlier was smirking. So this was not an accident. Someone wanted him to fail. Guards surrounded him. One pressed a spear to his throat. The Empress slowly stepped down from her floating throne. Every step made the ground shake. Her aura was so powerful that even her own guards looked afraid. Evan lowered his head. For a moment he thought. This is it. I will die on an alien planet because I touched the wrong butt. The Empress stopped right in front of him. She leaned down slightly. Her golden eyes scanned his face. Her anger was still there, but behind it, something else appeared. Curiosity. No mortal had ever touched her. No mortal had ever dared stand so close. Humans were considered weak, soft, foolish. But this human. He didn't run. Didn't fight. Didn't lie. He just stood there, shaking but honest, trying to hold himself together. She lifted her hand. The guards tensed, ready to kill. But instead of ordering his death, she spoke something unexpected. You broke a sacred rule, human. And for that, you must face the trial of worth. Gasps filled the room. Evan looked up. Trial? What does that mean? The Empress's eyes glowed brighter. It is ancient law. Any being who touches the Empress must prove they are worthy to live. A guard shouted, no human has ever survived the trial. Another added, he will die in minutes. The Empress ignored them. Take him, she commanded. Prepare the Hall of Trials. 2 guards grabbed Evan's arms and pulled him up. He struggled but couldn't break free. He looked back toward the Empress, his voice trembling. Empress Zyra, please. I really didn't mean. I know, she said quietly. But the law stands. Her words held no hatred, only judgment. As the guards dragged the human away, the Empress turned her head slightly. And a whisper escaped her lips, too soft for the court to hear, but loud enough for her commander beside her. No mortal has touched me in 10,000 years. I want to see why this human dared. The nobles argued. The guards marched. And the human disappeared into the dark hallway, where the trials waited. The Empress stood still, thinking. The human had surprised her. He had broken a sacred rule. He had caused chaos. He had touched something forbidden. But something in her eyes said. This was only the beginning. The heavy golden doors slammed shut behind Evan Carter, echoing across the dark hallway like the sound of a giant heartbeat. 2 Aurelian guards pushed him forward, their glowing spears pointed at his back. The bright palace was gone. The whispers of nobles were gone. The Empress's burning stare was gone. Now there was only darkness. And the sound of chains moving somewhere far ahead. Evan swallowed hard. He didn't ask questions. He didn't talk. He simply walked, because he knew one thing. No human had ever survived the trial of worth. The Hall of Trials. The hallway ended at a huge circular room. Pillars of blue crystal floated in the air. Symbols glowed on the walls like ancient warnings. In the center stood an old Aurelian priest, covered in glowing runes. His voice echoed unnaturally. Human. You touched the Empress. The trial begins now. If you fail, your bones will remain here forever. Evan muttered, great. No pressure. The priest raised his hand. The floor cracked open. Bright light shot upward. 3 trials, the priest announced. Face them with heart, or die without honor. Evan breathed deeply. He didn't know how strong he was. He didn't know if he could win. But he knew one thing. If he died, Earth would look weak. And he refused to be the reason for that. Trial 1, the Chamber of Fear. The walls melted away, turning into a storm of darkness. Evan suddenly stood in the ruins of Earth. The sky was burning. Buildings were destroyed. Smoke choked the air. He saw his home on fire. He saw his mother calling his name. He saw thousands of humans running, screaming, dying. A deep voice whispered. You are weak, human. You cannot protect anyone. Evan felt his knees shake. His heart beat too fast. He wanted to run, he wanted to scream. But he forced himself to stand. That's not real, he said. Fear is just fear. The flames rose higher. A giant shadow rose behind him, spreading like wings. You will fail, the voice hissed. All humans fail. Evan clenched his fists. Maybe. But humans keep trying. The fire burst forward, engulfing him. But the illusion broke like glass. The flames vanished. The chamber returned to darkness. And Evan was still standing. The priest's voice echoed. Trial 1, passed. Trial 2, the mirror of truth. A mirror appeared in front of him, tall, glowing, alien in shape. Strange runes floated around it like spinning rings. Evan saw his reflection, and then it changed. Now the mirror showed him at his weakest moments. Failing tests. Crying after losing a friend. Breaking down alone during his first space assignment. It felt like the mirror was reading every regret he'd ever had. Speak, the mirror demanded. Speak your truth. Evan wanted to lie. He wanted to say he was strong, brave, perfect. But something in the mirror made lying impossible. So he took a slow breath and said, I am afraid. I am not perfect. Sometimes I feel small. Sometimes I feel alone. The mirror glowed brighter. But, Evan continued, that doesn't mean I quit. The mirror pulsed with light. You have spoken your truth, it said. Most fail here. Most lie. You did not. The mirror shattered into light. Second trial passed. Trial 3, the storm of spirit. The ground trembled. Wind howled. Energy cracks spread across the walls. The third chamber had no walls, no ceiling, no floor. It felt like an endless sky made of lightning. A storm formed around him. Not rain, not wind. But pure spiritual force. It hit him like a hammer. His chest burned. His head felt like it would explode. The storm whispered. Bow. Kneel. Submit. Evan fell to one knee. Pain stabbed his bones. His vision blurred. Every muscle screamed. He heard another whisper, gentle, familiar. Humans break so easily. He saw the Empress in his mind. Her gold eyes. Her cold voice. Her disappointment. Something inside him sparked. No, Evan whispered. I won't kneel. He pushed one knee up. The lightning hit harder. He screamed. But he kept rising. Slowly. Painfully. He stood up straight. I don't submit. The storm exploded in a flash of white light. And then vanished. Evan collapsed, gasping, shaking. The priest stepped forward, his voice full of shock. The storm did not break you. Impossible, even some nobles cannot survive that. Evan tried to smile, but he was too tired. His legs barely worked. His vision was fading. But he had one. All 3 trials passed. The Empress watches. Secretly. What Evan didn't know was that Empress Zyra was watching from a hidden balcony above the chamber. Her golden eyes followed every movement he made. She had watched him face fear. She had watched him speak truth. She had watched him fight the spirit storm. And something inside her changed. Humans were supposed to be weak. Soft. Clumsy. Inferior. Yet this human. He stood when others fell. He spoke honestly when others lied. He fought a storm that even royal nobles feared. The Empress whispered to herself. He is different. Her voice trembled for the first time in centuries. Humans are interesting. The final collapse. Evan finally reached the center of the chamber. His legs buckled. His body shook. He collapsed hard onto the crystal floor. The guards watching from outside gasped. He's dead. No human can survive. But slowly, barely. Evan lifted his head. Not dead. Not broken. Alive. Barely breathing. but alive. The Empress covered her mouth for a moment. Not in fear. Not in anger. But in surprise. This human had survived the impossible. As the guards rushed in to carry him back to the court, the Empress turned away and whispered, "Bring him to me. He has earned judgment. And my attention. The galaxy would soon learn. This human was not weak. Not ordinary. Not forgettable." And the Empress was no longer sure if touching her backside was truly an accident. Or destiny. Evan Carter woke slowly, like someone swimming up from deep water. His body ached everywhere. His arms felt heavy. His legs screamed every time he moved. He opened his eyes. He was not in the trial chamber anymore. Instead, he lay on a soft glowing bed in a quiet room made of white crystal. Strange golden lights floated above him like gentle stars. The air smelled like warm metal and flowers. For a moment he wondered. Did I survive? Or is this some kind of afterlife? Before he could sit up, a figure entered the room. Tall. Silent. Powerful. Empress Zyra. Her long silver hair flowed behind her like a river of moonlight. Her golden eyes shined brighter than ever. Her royal robes looked like living fire. Evan froze. He wasn't sure if he was about to be rewarded. Or executed. The Empress stepped closer, her voice calm but heavy. You survived all 3 trials. That alone is rare. For a human, it is unheard of. Evan tried to sit up straighter, wincing in pain. Your Majesty. I didn't mean any disrespect. I swear I didn't mean to. She raised her hand. He fell silent immediately. I know, she said quietly. It was an accident. Her words shocked him so much he forgot to breathe. You believe me? She looked into his eyes, studying him like a puzzle she was almost finished solving. Yes, she answered. You did not lie in the mirror of truth. I saw everything. Evan's shoulders loosened, just a little. But the Empress continued. Still, the law demanded the trial. And you have passed. Her voice echoed softly. Now I must decide your fate. The return to the royal court. 2 guards entered, helping Evan stand. He limped beside them as they walked through the shining hallways. Every guard they passed stared at him with shock. Whispers followed him. He survived? Impossible, no human should live through that. Maybe the Empress wants him dead in another way. Evan tried not to look nervous, but his stomach twisted with fear. At the end of the hallway, giant golden doors opened. The royal court was waiting. Thousands of nobles stood inside the glowing hall. Their faces were cold. Some angry. Some terrified. Some curious. But every single one fell silent when the Empress entered. She walked to her floating throne. Evan stood alone in the center of the room, still bruised, still shaking. The Empress raised her hand. The hall became silent as a tomb. Human Evan Carter, she said, her voice strong and deep, you have completed the trial of worth. Now the court will hear my judgment. Every noble leaned forward. Every guard tightened their grip on their weapon. Evan swallowed. His heart hammered. This was the moment that would decide his life. The judgment. The Empress looked down at him. Her expression was unreadable, neither anger nor kindness. 3 traits were tested, she said. Fear. Truth. Spirit. Her eyes glowed brighter as she spoke. In the chamber of fear, you did not collapse. In the mirror of truth, you did not lie. In the storm of spirit, you did not break. She stood. Her voice rose across the hall. You have shown strength. You have shown honesty. You have shown courage. The nobles murmured angrily. He is still a human. A weak species. He touched the Empress. He must die. The Empress raised her voice. Silence. The hall became silent instantly. She looked at Evan again, but something had changed. Her eyes were softer. Her anger was gone. Now there was only curiosity, and something else, something warmer. My judgment is this, she said. The entire court held its breath. The Empress took a single step toward the human. I declare this human worthy. The nobles gasped. Some shouted in shock. Some fell to one knee. Some fainted. A guard yelled, Your Majesty! You cannot let him live, he touched your. Enough, the Empress snapped. She walked down from her throne and stood right in front of Evan. Her golden aura surrounded him like a soft fire. You touched something sacred, she said. In my empire, that crime demands a trial. But it can also grant a title, if the challenger proves worthy. Evan blinked. Title? What title? A small smile touched her lips, a rare, dangerous smile. A protector. A shield. A chosen companion to the Empress. The hall erupted. Unacceptable. A human? This is madness. But the Empress ignored them. She spoke loudly, clearly. I choose this human. Let him stand at my side. Evan stared at her, stunned. Me? Why? I'm not a warrior. I'm not even important. You survived what even nobles fear, she said. You spoke with honesty. You stood through pain. And you dared to touch the Empress. Evan coughed awkwardly. That part wasn't really. She stepped closer, cutting him off. Her voice dropped to a whisper only he could hear. And next time, human. If you wish to touch me. She leaned closer. You should ask. Evan nearly forgot how to breathe. The court exploded behind them. The guards panicked. The nobles screamed. But the Empress raised one hand, and silence fell instantly. The decision was final. And the galaxy would soon learn. A human now stood beside the most powerful Empress in the universe. Not as a prisoner. Not as a victim. But as someone chosen. Someone impossible. Someone dangerous. Someone who had touched destiny. And the Empress's backside. And lived.